Hello, YouTubers. I have been fishing at a local pond called Sunset Shores that's in Chandler here in Arizona. It is absolutely loaded with gizzard and threadfins, which are very much a forage for bass to eat. There's also baby tilapia and baby cichlid, Rio Grande cichlids, and baby bluegills in mass in this lake. And the funny thing is, people assume that tilapia and cichlids and bluegills and other sunfish are not carnivorous. Well, let me tell you something. They are carnivorous as fuck. They eat their own young consistently. And I have a cast net from Betts, which doesn't lay perfectly flat, but it's one of the better ones. It's like $48 at Bass Pro. I had one. It was the regular Tyzac, I think is what it's called. It really didn't suit my needs, and it got ripped to shreds on an incident in Scottsdale. So I had to retire that one right in the bucket at the shoreline, because the idiots that make the ponds in Arizona love to let the concrete just hang there, and they don't form it smooth in any way. It doesn't conduce itself very well for nets. Even in Sunset Shores, there's some jaggedness, but when I drop it down, I let it go all the way to the bottom, and then I pull slightly to close it, and then pull it up really rapid. I get some gilling, not a whole bunch, but I can pull them out because it's 3/8 netting. So they get stuck in there and I can pull them right through, and they live pretty good. I'm going to be getting a 3/16 glass minnow net fairly soon, so that I can have it fall down as rapidly with the 1 pound plus weights, and I can not gill them as much. I can't afford that right now. I'm unemployed. I got laid off a couple weeks ago, so right now I can't just do that. And because of the shad and the smaller baits, I have where I chop them up and have them on a little cutting board. I usually get the Circle K's little double hot dog diamondback things, because unless they get wet, they're pretty solid for a while, and they work just fine. And I keep them there at shore. I use them live. And let me tell you something, the channel cats, the flatheads, the bass, the cichlids, the tilapia, the bluegills, they all beat up on the cut bait. The bass especially love the full ones, and you hook them through that dorsal and throw them out. And it varies in footage because they're all over the lake. The biggest fish I've been seen pulled out of there was 14 pounds. The biggest I've pulled out of there was 11 and a half. They're consistently 2 to 8 pounds average. It's just a really healthy lake. But to that end, because those panfish are also hitting, and let me tell you something, on ultralight gear, a pound to a pound and a half bluegill or cichlid is going to give you a fight. They're tough son of bitches. And a tilapia, they get up to like 5 pounds in that lake. And they give you a workout. And you never know which one it is that's going to hit. I mean, I'll throw hot dog bits out there. I'll take like 4 or 5 hot dogs in the microwave for about a minute and 15 seconds, just to where they start to get like that little bit of burn on a side. And then I'll cut them lengthwise and lay them flat on the halves and cut them lengthwise again and cut 1/4 inch bits off of there. It's good enough for like anything from a size 10 to a size 2 hook. I'll throw it under a slip bobber and annihilate them all day long. But the bigger ones, the bigger ones, they always crush the shad bits. They just obliterate them. Even their own kind if you chop them up. And it's not illegal here. So I do it. But to that end, I like jig fishing on micro jig fishing. I hate bass jigs with a passion. Just fucking hate them. I don't ever use brush jigs like that. I'll use brush hogs and whatnot on like a Zika rig or a Carolina. I don't do Texas rig. It's insensitive. You don't feel bites nearly as much. So the mini rigs, though, the little mini jigs, they lend themselves to some pretty cool stuff, and I'm starting to do that. again, I left it for a while, but I'm getting back there. And at Bass Pro, I found these shad imitations. They have that kind of a clear look with a little bit of sparkle in them. They flash a little bit, and they got the white top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down to a smaller size. This is actually perfect size on its own. I could probably get bass and some of the bigger tilapia on these, but the length is the concern, because the tilapia, they tend to sideswipe, but they sideswipe a lot at the back of a lure. Bluegills kind of have more of a straight from the back, so these are just a little bit too long. They're not like crappie. These are actually crappie jigs, by the way. These bodies are 3-inch. I've got 1.5 that's got like this chartreusey orange to it. So I'm going to par that down quite a bit this way, like here, and cut the tail a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, and I've done this in the past for big bluegills and panfish, I take a lighter and I braise them so it kind of glasses them a little bit. And then I put that on the jig heads, and I use just like 1/16 to, even lighter all the way up to like 1/64 of an ounce. And if I wanted to go deeper, I'll just put a number 5 split shot up higher on the line. These fish are so voracious. They're so just damn that you can't fail if you present them something they want to eat. And there's a lot of waters in Arizona that are like that. Saguaro especially. The other lakes are good in some ways sometimes, but Saguaro it's consistent all the time. And there's some huge bluegill in Saguaro. I can't even explain to you. The Salt River lakes are the ones that I like the most because they're closest to me. I don't have a boat, so a lot of what I do is shoreline. I have a friend that has a boat. I go out with him when I have the chance. But right now is just not the time for him because, life is what it is. So these are the type of things that I'm going to be doing. We'll be doing a couple of these today. Just so I have them in my pack. I've pared down my packs a lot smaller than it was. I always have a towel to wipe off, things like normal things for fishing in there. Big grippy forceps so I can get hooks out of any mouth. Because channel catfish they're a bitch if they really bite on a good hook. So I have all these things situated, but I'm going to be cutting and burning these a little bit and trying them today. I'm taking my 7-Eleven swim bait rod out and also throwing, it's called a Super Shad Wrap. It's from Rapala. Now, they call it a Super Shad Wrap, but it doesn't have rattles in it. You can add them. I've seen people do it, but they work so well on their own because they move like a shiner does in the water when they're in a school. When they're not panicked and they're just sitting there like this? You've seen them in a school, you know what I'm talking about. That's how they swim. But the motion is so realistic and their profile is so close that they hammer that bait. I've got a bull shad 4x4, which has got the lip and it goes only to about 6 inches to a foot and a half at the most. That obliterates them pretty good too when they're going after gizzard shad. But this is an all shad looking bait. And I gotta tell you, it pounds the hell out of them. I have another one on my medium light, which is a Kevin Van Dam standard sexy shad jerkbait in the 2 to 5 foot. I have the 5 to 8 foot versions as well. I have a bunch of the Japanese types of jerkbaits, but these shad are in this lake. They are stereotypical Fred finning gizzards, really white on the sides, that black dot and the yellow stripe. The thread fins have that nice little thready fin on the back. This imitates them both, besides the fin, of course, as it's a jerkbait. But I know it gets hammered in that lake. I've been doing a lot of live bait because of the cast netting, but I'm going back out today to do more artificial to try, because my rotator cuff in my left arm, man, that bait net after a while just beats the hell out of me. I will give a report on how it goes. I don't really post pictures or video of me catching fish. I post pictures on my Facebook page quite often, my fish brain as well. My name is Kenneth Wiley, which is Kenneth Wiley on my face. Not on my Facebook. Sorry, I changed the name. On my YouTube. On my Facebook, it's a little more complex. I got a nickname a while back, and I changed my name to it. It's Balerion, Balerion, Fireball Draconia, 3 separate words, and it's easy to see who it is because it's a very unique name. I invite anybody on YouTube that is fishing related to either visit my regular Facebook or my Facebook Bass page, which is called Bass and Badassery. I am on my phone for YouTube. I can't put links down in descriptions, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little page. It's gaining a little bit of headway. I've got more people that have liked it and joined. I'm not like some of these younger guys that have GoPro. I ain't got the funds for that. I've been putting so much of my other fishing equipment that I just don't have the money. And looking for employment right now, I have to save my resources. So someday I'm going to have a GoPro. I know I'm going to. If I can find a way to put the link to the Bass and Badassery in the links before I post the video, I'm going to. But I'm definitely going very Shad oriented because they are busting them all over now. All the different types of fish are doing it now. I've even seen little like half-inch shad that just get obliterated by gills and red ears on the shoreline, no less. I have to take advantage of this opportunity. I will do my best to get that link to my Facebook Bass page. If not, then it is what it is. It's called Bass and Badassery. You can find it on Facebook. It's pretty cool. I like it. I may be biased, but then that kind of human nature in some ways anyway.